going on, guys? I am beyond proud to introduce to you an individual that has inspired me to be open about my political beliefs. He is Prager University's finest. He is perhaps one of the most remarkable conservative YouTubers on all social media platforms, and he is someone that I aspire to be in contact with one day. Mr. Will Witt, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. That was so nice. That was so nice. That makes me feel so good. Thank you for that.
Definitely. So, um, I'm probably going to start off with the most defining question. You have you didn't graduate from the University of Colorado Boulder?
No, I did not. I dropped out. Best decision of my life.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that in a second. You said so you're technically a college dropout, who now works in the political field. My brand is called the Political Dropout. So you define my brand. You are the Political Dropout, practically. I didn't intend that to be, but you practically are. So could you give me a little bit of insight on how you felt when you made that decision and like how you made the connections to get to where you are today?
Yeah, so I was in college. I was never a conservative going all throughout high school or whatever, I
Mhm.
was pretty apolitical. But then when I got to college and people started saying conservative values, and it was during the Trump election actually, I was like, wow, a lot of the, I guess, common sense ideas that I had were actually defined by something, and that definition was really conservatism. So I
Mhm.
came onto conservatism and I started getting involved with so many groups, the local Republican parties, Turning Point USA, eventually Prager Force, and connected with Prager Force, made a video on my campus. This was before people were really before there was a conservative influencer thing, you know? So I really was, not to be vain, but I was one of the pioneers of the whole conservative influencer type of thing, making videos and that. And I taught myself how to edit them and shoot them, and I sent it to PragerU. They loved the video, they posted it, and then they were like, "You want a job?" I was like, "Sure." So I decided to drop out of school and come and work for PragerU. And my mom was not too happy with it, but she's
Mhm.
much happier now
Yeah.
after she's seen everything that's happened. So
Oh, definitely, definitely. That's a really inspiring story. So what you did was you made a video and then you sent it to PragerU when you guys were here.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's really just about, you know, you have to develop your own brand. So
Mhm.
I figured out, what I'm good at, what my kind of niche is. You have all these conservative people right now who want to be conservative influencers or anything like that, and they all want to be like the next Ben Shapiro. They want to be an expert on every single topic. They want to speak and make videos and all these different things. And it's like, you're a 21-year-old kid. You don't know anything. You're not an expert in anything. Why would someone take you seriously? So I figured that out early, and I was like, okay, what can I do that like I takes my skills and I'm really good at, and then I found my thing. So I mean, that's like my advice to anyone trying to get into this is like, find something that you're really good at or passionate about and make that like your niche versus trying to just do everything.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you the whole way. I'm usually not in front of the camera. I'm not that well spoken, but I prefer to write articles and such. So I guess I found that, and hopefully that will help me out one day as well. So you said you're based out of California, right?
I
So
am.
how does that feel? Like, how do you feel walking out of your door every day being a heavy conservative? Like, do people give you, dirty looks, or just tell me about that?
Well, it's funny. I live in this gated community here in Hollywood, California, and a lot of the people there are like actors and actresses or people who work in like the film industry. It's kind of the community that it is. And I met this one girl walking her dog and everything, and I met her, and she's like nice, and she's talking, and then she's like, "Oh, you're so cool! Like, this is great. We both have dogs. And, like, go to the dog park sometime." And then like she follows me on Instagram. I'm like, "Here's my Instagram," and then she like, now she hates me. And it's like, that's okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's kind of the attitude of a ton of people, where it's like, of course, she's a leftist or a liberal, whatever. I don't hate her at all. I'm like,
Mhm.
if you want to take our dogs to the dog park, they got along fine, then let's do it. But she's
Mhm.
like, no, no, you're a conservative and a racist, and I won't do that with you. So it's a lot of backlash being a conservative here in Los Angeles. But personally, I like it better that way. I like having the challenge of people who disagree with me versus living in a place like, some really red city in Texas or something, or
Mhm.
Idaho, where everyone already agrees with you. I moved to California to try and help save this state, to change a lot of minds. Can't do that if everyone already thinks the exact same way. So
Could I actually ask for your advice on something? So
sure.
I'm attending a school that is 2% conservative next year. What is your advice for me going in? Like, I've already received plenty of DMs telling me, kill myself and to, that you're not gonna have any friends here. What would you say as like some advice to me?
I see this as like we just did this interview with this business owner, and who was I can't say what the business is or who the guy was, but he did this interview with this business owner, and he it was like behind like a green screen kind of deal, so like you couldn't see his face or know who he was, but he's talking about how scared he is to say that he's a conservative, and I say don't be scared. You need to come out and say it. Like, think about all the businesses or people who have come out and said they've conservative or they're a conservative business or student, whatever it is, and the amount of support and love that they've gotten from people who understand their struggle. So it seems like you feel like you're going to be ostracized and you feel like it's going to be so horrible and people are going to hate you. And it's like, yeah, some people will, but it's like those aren't the people who you were trying to earn affection from in the first place. You're trying to earn respect from people who actually respect the ideas that you hold.
Mhm.
So losing friends or losing people who are going to hate you if they find out who you secretly are not the people you want to, first of all, be good friends with anyway. So you should always be speaking out for what you believe in, no matter, what it is.
Mhm. Very well said. Very well said.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You recently became part of Today's America, right? I was on, I heard about that. Fantastic news. I'm so happy that you're here. Um, you're affiliated with, so is my blog is also affiliated with this awesome organization. What are your initial thoughts about Today's America and the future?
Yeah, well, it seems really cool. I mean, as well as I know, it's partnered with like Conservative Hype House, and I've done some videos with them on TikTok. I mean, I really feel like one of the only, I guess, bigger conservative name people really doing stuff like that on TikTok.
Mhm.
Making things like that. So I think it's really cool that I get to be involved with something that's like, I
Mhm.
mean, Conservative Hype House reach 1 million followers on TikTok. That's insane. That's so cool. That like there's so many young people on TikTok who want to like be a part of what you guys are doing. It's like an amazing thing. So, and you can do it in a way that's not stuffy or old school conservative. It's like taking the trends of the day and just making it, conservative and political.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. I'm super happy to be a part of it too.
That's awesome. That's awesome from hearing from you. Uh, for those of people that don't know what you do exactly at Prager University, we're speaking about the Will Witt content. Could you give a little bit of a rundown on what you do at
Yeah.
Prager University?
So I tan a lot. That's
Yeah,
my first thing that I
that's
do.
good. That's
And
good.
then after that, then I might do some work. I create videos for PragerU mostly. So I was doing a lot of man on the street videos before. We've kind of, as time has gone on, I've elevated my brand. We've been working on a lot of other stuff. So I've been doing like a whole coronavirus interview series. I'm working on mini documentaries, which is awesome. I did the first one, Fleeing California. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely recommend checking that out. We're working on a mini documentary right now about climate change, and then I work with Prager Force, which is our student program, which is just exploding all over the world. Students from all
Mhm.
over getting digital marketing experience and working with me and internships, all sorts of cool stuff. And those are some of the main things I do. I mean, it's basically like I hate the word, but it's like a media personality kind of for PragerU is what my title is. So I represent PragerU on things when it comes to PR and media, as well as put out my ideas out there. And I have a podcast too. Every single Wednesday, live stream my podcast. So Will Witt Live, very creative name, I know, but I love it.
I
So
was checking out yesterday. You talked 3 days ago. You posted that video about the debunking the police, right?
hmm
Yeah, it was stellar, very stellar.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, John Oliver is a nut. So he's not even American. And then he thinks he can come in here and talk about what's going on in America. You know what I mean? And it's like you have all these people. I just saw it, sorry to go off on this tangent, but I'm saying you have all these people in Paris right now. I mean, I just saw a video. They're rioting and looting and doing horrible things. It's like a war zone there. And it's like this police stuff didn't even happen in your country. Like, why are you going and doing that? It makes no sense. Absolutely. So it's a crazy world right now. So that's
Mhm.
why I'm here to try and dismantle the leftist narrative.
Will it be the world?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't think I can do it all by myself.
Um, so being a part of PragerU, I don't want to like make say any favorites or anything, but who do you enjoy working with the most? Do you think that anyone you've worked with at PragerU, like Candace Owens, Dennis Prager, they would have founded of who you are today, put you on the path for success?
I of course would want to say that someone like Dennis and Candace did that, but that's kind of the easy answer. I would say mostly it's actually the chief marketing officer here at PragerU,
Yeah.
a guy named Craig. So he is just an amazing guy. I mean, super smart with everything he does. He's the one who really inspired me to really speak up about things and not be a loser when things get hard, and that's like his exact words in a way. So he's been the one to really guide me and be there for me to help me. So I know that's not like a glorious person that everyone would know or some other influencer, but to me, in terms of that question, Craig has been the best one for me to help me grow.
It's nice. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Being a part of such like a big network, you've spoken with a lot of influential people. Like I mentioned earlier, Jordan Peterson and also Candace Owens. Who would you say is the most influential person that you've enjoyed speaking to the most? Like
I
I'm
mean,
sure you just,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You spoke with a lot of people. Like I know you don't remember everyone probably, but who sticks out to you the most?
Who's I think my favorite person that I met was Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Tucker is just like he's so much like he is on his show already, and he's just like the most genuine and down to earth nice guy. That I find people who are genuine and nice, and like charismatic like that. That means a million times more than knowing all the facts about American history or the
Mhm.
political world. You know what I mean? If you have no character or no uh, you're not able to talk to people, like you could be the smartest person ever, but it really means nothing to me. It's not inspiring to me if you can do that. And Tucker being such a genuine, nice person it really, again, this was early on in my career when I kind of met him and I was like, wow, that's like, I want to aspire to be someone like that. So
Mhm.
he's a really cool guy. So that was probably my favorite person. And obviously Dennis too, but I see Dennis all the time.
Mhm.
He's old news at this point, and so, but yeah.
Um, what about someone that you want to speak with one day?
Hmm. I would like, I've spoken with pretty much any of the conservative influencer, anyone in the news realm
Mhm.
of that I've spoken to. I think it would be really fun to speak with Anderson Cooper. I know he's
Yeah.
like a leftist person, but I think that would be a good interview to do, or someone to, go over these ideas. Don Lemon would be the same way. I'd like to talk to these people and actually see if, their ideas hold up when put against the most meager of scrutiny. So we will see, but I doubt anything like that will happen.
You
Just
don't think
a
so?
wish list. No, I don't think so. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna actually go into a little tangent on your interviews. Um, like I'll be honest, the interviews that you put, the man on the street ones, they're some of my favorite things to watch. Where you have like the people who are ranking Hitler to Trump. That was always great to see. But my favorite one that sticks out to me the most was when you debated a progressive Muslim. Do you remember that
I
video?
do.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the same day that I met Tucker Carlson, actually, when
Really,
I did that
really?
video. Yeah. Yeah.
That was honestly like one of my favorite videos. Not just because of what you said. Like you stated why America is the greatest country, and during this time, I know a lot of people think that America is the worst country, which is baffling to me, right? What would you say, like out of all the videos you've made? I don't want you to try to think of all of them because there's so many. What was the most memorable one that sticks out to you the most?
Yeah. I definitely have a few that stick out to me a lot. My favorite video that I've made is actually the one where I went to the Navajo Indian reservation
Mhm.
and I talked to the people there. I'm not sure if you've seen that one, but I did that video in response basically to me going to the campus dressed up as a Native American with my black pilgrim.
Yes.
And then all these people, they got so offended by it. And I was like, okay, if they're going to get offended by it, maybe they're right. Let's go to the Navajo reservation and talk to these Native Americans and see what they think about it.
Mhm.
So I went there, and none of these Native Americans were offended by it. They weren't offended by the Washington Redskins name, and they didn't want these stupid white kids at a university getting offended for them on their behalf, right? So it was just an amazing thing to see because it was like I drove all the way out there, and it's like a story that is just not told. You don't ever get to hear from these people.
Yeah.
So for me to go out there and do that, I felt like I was really doing, something that was like irrefutable evidence that what the left says about cultural appropriation, these other things, it's just wrong because the people who it's supposed to affect aren't even worried about it. So that's probably my favorite one that I've done. And then I
Yeah.
do love one where I dressed up as a Mexican too. That one, I absolutely love that video. So
They're all fun to watch.
thank you.
So whenever I have a candidate like for an interview, I always want to ask them the same question of about Gen Z because my blog it appeals to young, teenage, voices. Some of them being liberal, some being conservative. What advice could you give to conservative influencers as to what we can do to help make Generation Z more conservative. I'm not saying to oppress anybody with our beliefs, obviously not. But what would you say to help educate people who are saying, no, that's not true, Trump's a racist, he's a fascist? What would you say to that?
Yeah. I can give you my kind of bigger picture idea, which I think is the real root of this problem. You look at America right now and you look at how it's crumbling and why it's crumbling. It's because of things like fatherlessness. It's because of things like the people aren't getting married. It's because of the sexual revolution, things like that.
Mhm.
And of course, people are inclined to make their own decisions if they like, but you look at the leftist media, you look at the universities, and they push these things on us. That's
Yeah,
what they do. They push these things on us. And so think about Hollywood and think about the celebrities. Every single major A-list celebrity posted like a black square. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So those are the people who people our age look up to and say, I want to be like that person. That person's cool. They're posting black squares. I better do that too. They're protesting. I better protest. There's a lack of role model. There are a lack of role models right now for these young people, someone to look up to and say, that person's cool. I like what this person says. They're charismatic. They're fun. I want to do what this person does, or I want to believe what this person does. So when
mhm,
you don't have a role model, it's really weird. They see some, old politician in Washington who's a Republican saying things, and they're like, I don't care about what he says. It doesn't mean anything. They
yeah,
need young people who
mhm,
are similar to their age and everything that they can really look up to.
mhm,
So again, it kind of goes into again, like we were talking about earlier, with sacrificing your values, but show people that you're a leader. Like when you're in your class, like when I was in my classes, like my political science classes, the teacher hated me because I would always raise my hand and say, no, that's wrong. And then I would have kids come up to me afterwards and say, hey man, like I really loved what you said, but I'm like too scared to say anything about it. Like, do you want to get pizza later? I'm like, no, you're weak. You need to go and say something too. I can't do this all by myself, carrying this all. Like, you have to be a leader and stand up for all the people around you and be a role model for people. Otherwise, it's completely lost. And they turn to the avenues that preach this leftist narrative. So yeah, role models is the most important thing I think that we need to be focusing on, and to be a leader to those around you.
no, definitely. Um, yeah, I always try to do the same thing, what you said, try to be a leader, try to show that it's okay to be conservative, you know?
Right.
Um, so my final question for you is, what's next for Will Witt?
Hmm. Probably get more tan.
More saying.
And after getting more tan, I really am liking the stuff that we're doing on the mini documentaries, and I hope that we can flush something out to start making full length documentaries with PragerU.
Hmm.
I think that's a medium that you look at the left and you think of Vox or you think of Vice or something like that, and they're putting out these mini documentaries all the time. Excuse me, there isn't really a conservative answer to that kind of stuff. So for me to come on and kind of be that answer and make a lot of these things, I think is really cool and really powerful for a lot of people. You know, so I mean, like this one we're doing about climate change now, we are like exposing the climate narrative on where the money goes, why people are being silenced, what's really going on, and that's like a really important thing that we can compact into like a 15-20 minute thing that no one is hearing. Because the messaging, the marketing for these kind of ideas isn't good. So I want to be a marketer and a messenger of the truth out there, and I want to do it through that realm. So, um, yeah, I guess that's what's next for me. I mean, there's always new things going on that we have no idea. Probably get canceled 10 more times this year. So, looking forward to that. But other than that, that's what we got going on now.
All right, perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, well, once again, I want to thank you for taking time to do this. I had an awesome time. I'm sure I learned a lot from you. I'm sure that people are going to read and watch this. They're going to also learn a lot from you. And I honestly hope to be in contact in the future. That'd be awesome. But other than that, once again, thank you for this. And I'm going to click pause and recording.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. See you soon.